Google wants 200, baby.
You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money.
It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at.
All right, everyone. Welcome. How's everything going? Another great day in paradise to be a bull. As the market is broke out yesterday, trying to challenge the top end of that base that we were talking about, but we'll chat about that a little bit soon. So, as always, we're joined by our buddies Steve today, and Mitch will be over as soon as he stops cheating on us with another network. So, everyone give a shout out in chat. Let me know how you're doing. And without further ado, we'll just kind of pop right into it. So, yesterday, when we left you guys, the SPY was doing pretty much nothing. It was just kind of consolidating sideways here. And then from there, it looks like we broke out into the afternoon. So we were talking about the market right here and how kind of incredibly choppy it was. Stayed choppy until 2 Eastern. So then we finally kind of broke out into the close there. So it was one of those times where, yes, we were up. And this is a very constructive way to go up. It was a slow kind of grind higher. So great, right? What else do we want? So as we're grinding higher over and over and over again, and then a little bit up in the pre-market, and then some news happened overnight. Who knows what? Who really cares? And now we've been grinding higher again ever since. So looks like maybe we want to challenge the top end of this base. I'm not too sure on that yet, but something I want to take a look at. You know, when you're dealing with a sideways consolidation like this, a nice base, it's important that we see what we're seeing now, where every time it tries to come in to maybe test that low, that 575 low, we're getting met with buyers over and over again. So this very tight base that's happened over the last 4 to 5 days, this is an interesting one because if we end up breaking and popping above that, again, we're only like 2% or so off all-time highs. I know it just seems like yesterday that everyone was calling for the end of the world, which in hindsight was the best possible buying signal of all time when the bears were getting very, very loud and they were talking about, Black Mondays and all of this. And now we are close to all-time highs. Take a quick look at the heat map and we'll go through. We'll do pre-market change. We've got some news. Right? Nothing really crazy. Everything here is gray. So again, on this particular chart, gray represents no movement, right? Not up, not down, just it's within 1% up or down, which again is roughly no movement, right? We could change this a little bit, but yeah, it's we do, I don't know, say 1.5 to 5. Right? You see a little bit more, but still mostly gray there as things just chill out, as there's nothing really going on. Tesla up 1%, some up, some down, some up, some down. There's no indicators here, right? Those are just lines I drew in. Here are some indicators that I use myself that are ones that I've built. Those can't be directly shared, but it's just a VWAP, right? So you just pop on a VWAP, and that's a 2-day VWAP. Yeah, so right, pretty much, we Google up, Google down, NVIDIA up, Palantir up. HIMS I saw was up big in the pre-market. That's something else that I own. Mitch is going to probably come in, talk about his NNE that he took yesterday as a swing, gapped up 5%, 6%. Nice little move there on that guy, because there was some news I saw with Microsoft and CEG. Yeah, CEG, where Microsoft's essentially just buying power in perpetuity for years and years and years from CEG for, I think it was CEG. I'll take a look here. One of these nuclear guys just saying, hey, we need this power. So, which is good. It's more AI news. If we go NVDA, right, we're probably going to see a little bit of move with that. It's more of just a vote of confidence that, yes, AI is going to continue to be a thing. It's going to be a thing that we keep an eye on here. So nothing really showing too much. We have financials down, which is interesting compared to seeing a lot of the market there that is up. Taking a look at the economic calendar on Tuesday the 3rd, which is right now, we have jolts and factory orders. So jolts is showing as a 3-star event, which means it is usually market moving. It's not going to be, FOMC market moving or anything, but it does move the market. And then factory orders month over month. And then we've got a whole bunch of these jokers, right? So 1245, 1, 230, and 430. Just all these lame wads. Oh no, only 3. That was crude oil inventories. So 3 of these guys chatting away. So yeah, jolts, job opening, factories orders, those come in at 10. So first half an hour, pay attention to that. Could kick the market a little bit, and it could be one of those mornings that we talk about all the time, in which we are consolidating, waiting for something to happen until 10 when these numbers kick off. Then it's, turn on the algos. Right? Sometimes they keep the algos off while they're waiting for the numbers to hit. As soon as the numbers hit, flip those guys on and have them start trading now that kind of everything that's foreseeable is immediately out of the way. All right. So that is about it for the sectors and all of that stuff. We got Steph, you're doing some crazy stuff, I'm sure. NIVF, I saw that was like the junk stock du jour, right? That is gapping up today. Wow, it did a crazy wick here yesterday. Yeah. So it was another gapped up or moved in the pre-market yesterday and then just crashed all day, and now it's back up. That's kind of interesting because could mean that people who shorted to cause this ugly candle yesterday, well, a lot of them were probably going to have their stop, I would say, at the high of this wick or the high of here. And we know that they don't see your stops. They don't care about your stops. But if there's an obvious place for a stop, quite often the market could run to that stop loss area, and then potentially move through there. So yeah, if we get through that zone, that could be an interesting one. And we're just kind of consolidating nicely here on NIVF. This guy, what is it? RSLS? This is another one of those I know because I see it every now and then. That was $38 million a share and is now $4 a share. So think about it. If you buy a couple shares here and it gets to $38 million a share, you're laughing. So just buy 10 shares, and at that point buy 100, and you'll get what's that, 3 billion when it gets back up there. It's easy route to do, right? It's just $3 billion. Simple. That one's gapping up today. Again, I obviously kid. Most of these things are probably on their way to zero, but that's not what we don't care. We're just day trading them. So if they put in some good day trades, they put in some good day trades. That's all that matters. Here's another one. Notice a lot of these are SPACs that do something and then completely go to near zero. Those SPACs fleeced a lot of poor people who didn't know how to trade. But this one's probably like the healthiest, at least from the short term here that I've seen. You could almost say that this is a potential inverse head and shoulders kind of pattern here, and that it's gapping up above the neckline. That would be sitting right here. So if we gap up above the neckline, that puts us at 350, right? So then what your prior high up here is at 6. That's a lot of room to go there. So that's an interesting one. Again, intraday, same kind of pattern. A lot of these have the same pattern. They have these crazy exuberant moves right off in the first little bit. Then they start to fade back down. The question is this like that first one that we saw that's just going to, crap all day? Or does it come in a little bit and then bounce? So I always like VWAP for looking at these things. My system that I've come up with right now isn't very good at trading them, but I am determined at some point, once I can automate that system through Trade the Pool, which I am told is coming, then we will kind of go through and figure out something else. So yeah, it's one of those, you build a system, you test the system, you trade the system, then you automate the system, and then you move on to the next system. That's the way I trade anyway. So you just get more and more and more and more systems, and you look back and you've got, like I do, 5 or 6 swing trading systems, and I want to get about the same, maybe up to 10 day trading systems, and you just let those go on autopilot. Looks like Steve, I was just reading our little chat, company chat there. Looks like Steve's a little under the weather, so give him some well wishes, things like that. Google taking a little bit of a hit here. So the news was that Apple may use Perplexity as its default search instead of Google. And I, for one, am an Apple user and a Perplexity user, am all for it. It is, in my opinion, the best when it comes to search. ChatGPT has search too. I just don't, it's not as good. It's not as clean. ChatGPT I use a lot for custom GPTs that I've made, and then I use it a lot for coding, programming, things like that. Perplexity, I think, is the king of search. So I think this is a really good move here. So but yeah, this nice little pop-up. So I've got this one on the list for potentially breaking back through VWAP, maybe testing 2-day VWAP. Again, this isn't really new news. We know that Apple was looking to replace its search at some point, or I think give more options. It's all like antitrust nonsense that's going on. So I don't think this is, catastrophic news by any means. It's not like it's the end of days. So I'm looking to potentially buy Google here, especially as we see on the Qs this slow grind higher. Right. So I've even put the Qs on the VWAP fade list to maybe get to 2-day VWAP, just in case we reject these highs again that we've just been fighting for forever. We need these highs broken. And through these highs, we get to all-time highs. And then through that all-time highs, we have these perma bears who are calling for the end of the world to just start screaming and crying. No, sorry. They won't scream and cry. What's next? We all know the perma bear playbook. So what's next for the perma bear playbook? It is just wait and see. The data will come out soon. As we scream another, 50% up on the market. The data will come in soon. Yeah. So 2.5% from there to highs. Some sectors that were interesting as I was going through my work last night. Hack here. Talk about this a lot. Cybersecurity breaking through all-time highs here on cybersecurity. So it's a nice little look, right? I think that this is kind of related to a lot of the defense stuff going on, where there's a lot of talk about drones being used for military. The question is, if we get the drones for the military, they've got to have hackable guts, right? Especially these AI powered ones. So I think cybersecurity names are going to get a big lift when it comes to a lot of these names. APLD, I did a look on this one. You can see this massive area of resistance here on APLD for a pretty long time. So it's come from $3 to 11 to basically get there. That's a huge move to hit a resistance zone. I would not be surprised to see some sort of leak through and then come back. However, if you get through that resistance, you're talking the next highs up here is at 20, and then from there 30 as an all-time highs. That's a triple from here. So the question I always ask myself for a little longer term trade is, if I was interested here, where would I put my stop? I don't know. Down here maybe. So $8 or $6.50. That's a pretty wide stop. You're risking like 50% to make 100%. That math doesn't really math too much. So I think for a trade, A perfect world would be consolidation or rest up here, some sort of a base or a little bit of a pullback or something like that, and then go. And the fact that I want that means there's probably a 0% chance that that's going to happen for me. It's probably just going to rip right through and then rug pull later. So yeah, but I think a perfect world is you get something that looks like this kind of nice consolidation at highs, but instead of doing that, it then breaks out and goes. It's one of those things where you always got to look at what's the risk reward on the play. Now, if you own it from lower, then right, set a break even stop and have fun, because this is a nice looking chart overall. But it's one of those things that right we need to get through that level, and we've just had such a massive move to get through that level on APLD. We got Bitcoin trying here to dig in, right? It's nice bottoming tails in this area, right? So we've come back down to test this 102 or so. And so far, every time we sold off, those sells have been bought. I don't like that it's kind of looking like a bit of a failed breakout right now. So I want to see this pull back and then quickly recover to the upside, get us to 120 or something, kind of confirm that breakout. Ideally, that's what I would like to see. I just don't know if we're going to end up getting that, but that's, for me, this is very important for the overall market. I don't want to see Bitcoin back to the 90,000 area. Morning. Good morning. Yeah, I don't want to see Bitcoin sell back off, not because I care too much about Bitcoin. I do still have some of my fart coin, because of course I do. Right, I bought some here on this breakout at 56, sold a little bit into this high around 150 because I tripled my money, so why wouldn't I? Thinking of rebuying some if this holds, but that's really the only crypto position I have on right now. So it's not that reason that I want Bitcoin to move higher. It's that I think Bitcoin is a very good idea of risk on, risk off. So if Bitcoin is moving higher, that kind of tells us, okay, we are still risk on. We're still good to potentially break that high that we've been talking about all morning in the S&P 500. We're able to, start to potentially play some of these breaks, some of these pushes. However, if we fall, then maybe that base resolves a little bit lower, which is less fun. Still fine, but just less fun. I watched episode lately on Line Your Own Pockets. It's very informative for anyone who wants to learn a different perspective. Thanks, man. So yeah, that's my podcast that I do with another buddy who's a systematic trader. We just talk all about systematic trading and the systematic trading journey. Both of us are quants, I think is another way to word it, but essentially just means that I don't trade based off of kind of what I see. I don't look and stare at a chart and then look at a level 2 and look at a time and sales and hit a button. I build systems and test those systems, and then those systems trade for me in the same way that Dave trades. So we can push on the way. So looks like Mitch might be having some problems as well, so we might be doing solo for at least a little bit, but man, we'll keep going. We'll keep seeing what's happening. CDW, someone says. I don't see anything in this chart, just really range bound. Nice little bounce off the lows like most things, relatively weak to the market recently, and then just look at that big sloppy mess from 2021 until 2025. Just an awful mess. BNTX. This one's a little bit more interesting because although it's still in a big sloppy mess, it looks like it's at the high end of that big sloppy mess. So potential breakout that could occur here. So looks interesting. I just don't like to trade things in ranges. Yeah, snow climbing up. We talked about this a little bit, I think, before you got there, that we had the hack ETF make an all-time high and a nice little, not just any all-time high. This one looks really nice to me, where we got up to this prior high at 82 and we consolidated for a long time, like a month just back and forth action. And then just yesterday, a nice little pop out and a break there. And so far in the pre-market, I don't think there's much volume, about 10 minutes left. We are holding so far. So I'm really interested in this sector. This kind of reminds me of this, which, full disclosure, I have a bunch of, this ITA, where it put in this all-time highs, and then it got back to there and it put in a little bit of a base. And then I bought on this candle right here, this candle breakout. And I'm just kind of trailing a stop here on defense. And to me, like I was talking about, I think they're one and the same at this point, right? Does defense really mean a bunch of dudes running around with guns anymore? Or does defense mean cybersecurity, right? Defense mean, drones, that type of thing. So ITA breaking out, and again, long that one. And I did buy a little bit of this hack. I've already owned some, but I bought a little bit more because that's just a nice, clean looking all-time high breakout. And it's a very simple trading strategy to use, and something that I can find the back test here for and show you guys. If you just take very, very simply, and you don't even refine it or use any discretion at all, and you just buy all-time highs and put a trailing stop on them, you end up making a bunch more money than most people in the market who end up trying to buy all-time lows. I think it's Black Star Funds all-time high. I think that was the Black Star Funds all-time high study. There's a bunch of people have done studies about these things where does trend following work on stocks. I think that's this one. Yeah. So the basic premise behind this was we're going to buy all-time highs, and we are going to buy all-time highs and put a trailing stop on them. It's pretty basic trading system. And save that. This is when the study was released in 2008, right? This was the results. I'm just doing my own study on it over here right now, and I'll show you. Outperforms the market on average pretty well, and the drawdowns they noticed were quite a bit less. So again, not magic. It's a strategy that is a starting point that would need to be refined. But all of the people out there that are telling you to buy crappy stocks like on the way up, well, you can just show them that study and say, well, what if we do the opposite of what you're saying? And instead of buying junk, we buy our all-time highs. Hey there, cheater. How's it going?
Loving the money out there, my friend. Loving the money out there. It's just money all along out there right now.
It's a good time to be a bull, that's for sure.
It's a good day indeed. Hims just continues to rip, man. I'm a little upset I didn't buy that rip this morning. I almost bought it at 7:15. I would already be up 8%. Just to give the perspective. Hims just ripping, guys.
I'm still
nice
in
cup
here
and handle pattern
from 30. So I hope 30 this candle, 33, 35. So
I mean, this is looking great, man. I'll tell you that. And I got a whole trade idea broken down for this, but I had to reset. That's why I'm a little late. I don't know why, but Google's permissions are making me literally reset my computer if I go to any other video thing.
Nice.
So yeah, Google, you can get the big old today. And you are getting the big old today. Did you see that Google chart?
Yeah, well, we were talking about that, man. I take Perplexity on my iPhone over Google any day of the week, right? I do all of my searching with, even I find it better than ChatGPT search. Perplexity. I like that it gets you the answer and then it cites everything, because you can just go and check to make sure the AI is dumb. So guys, this is the all-time high study I just ran. Very basic. What happens if you buy an all-time high, you stick a moving average on it, and then you get out in the moving average. So this is a super unrefined study, but you can see you do better than the people out there who are trying to pick bottoms, right? Those who pick bottoms end up with smelly fingers. That's what my mentor always taught me. So,
look at this, man. Look at this that I created on lovely AI nowadays. That's the impressive part, guys, is just what you can actually make sometimes, guys. So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna just start making and if my thing wants to work, are you literally crashing on me, Chrome? It's literally saying non-responding at the top.
Nice.
I'm like, I can still hear you and everything, but it's just like literally the wheel of death.
Too many tabs. But yeah, Rando was talking about I like the hack even better because it's single stock, not single stock. Well, the reason I started to kind of really start to get involved in hack was that day that CrowdStrike broke the entire world. If everyone was there for that, like planes stopped flying, trains stopped moving. And so part of my thinking was I like the cybersecurity industry, but might be good to spread it around because that may have been a little wake up call that we're a bit too reliant on one service out there. Might be time to get a couple more going. But yeah, I like this hack ETF. I really like this all-time high breakout. Again, added a bunch yesterday. Fairly low average. I'm buying this one for a while here, but I just like this to me is the new defense. And if defense is doing what it's doing, then we're going to get probably hack moving with it. And I am all for it. So one's question, what money Mitch scalping today? Well, he's probably trying to short Google because everything is broken for poor old money Mitch. So we've got Steve's physical body broken. There he goes. Steve's physical body is broken. And then we have Mitch, his computer is broken. So between the two of them, I'm the only one left standing. The Mac guy. Hey, and I'm the one with the two kids that are just germ factories. Here I am. I think he'll be back. So yeah, physical virus for Steve, digital virus for Mitch. Wish them the best as we get ready here for the Open. My game plan for the Open is the same as always. I've got a list of these AVWAP fades that I'm going to take. The benefit of being a systems trader is it's just Groundhog Day every day. So we have the SP 500. We get the highs, we get the lows, and then above that we have this high right here, and then the ultimate high is 595.50. So that would be quite a move from here, but nothing crazy. So we are watching this 592.50. Then above that we got 593.50. Then above that we have 595.50. If things move to the upside, if they move to the downside, VWAP, 2-day VWAP, pre-market low. Those are the things that I'm watching to the downside. All right, so what I have on my list to potentially trade here from this one, this OKLO, taking a little bit of a short here, looking to see if this fades back in. Again, there was that nuclear news, but just I don't think that's new news. What I think, if I remember correctly, they tried, them being Microsoft, to do a AI nuclear thing before, and the last administration blocked it. So I think they're basically just trying the same thing again, knowing that this administration likely won't. APLD, if this thing fades, I'm going to look to take a short on this one. Again, just overextended, moving a little bit too much. I want to take the other side of exuberant gaps. HIMS, this one's going to be hard for me because I am long it in a swing account. So looking to short this one here. JBOY, same thing. Very nice looking daily chart on this gap up. But if this fades, I'll take a look at that one as well. Then I have the Qs just because the whole market might move. And then a potential fade here on Google, but it looks like that's already happening because, again, they said, Apple has already said ages ago that they're going to move a lot of their search. So already priced in is the idea behind that. So we got about 1 minute here until the Open. So we'll see what happens right off the Open if we end up breaking this high or not. And remember, half an hour into the Open, we have that number. So we've got that jobs JOLTS, job openings, and then FO or factory orders. So JOLTS, I think, can give a little bit of a tease to maybe this is potentially what could be moving. Right? This is are we potentially seeing more job openings, less job openings, like a teaser for unemployment? So there is the move. I heard APLD got triggered to the short side right off the jump there. So I'll just draw that in for you guys. No way it's going to work this quick and this well. That's the stop and the target. Ooh wee, are we getting that right off the open? So this is being pushed down here so far. And let's take a look at the market here. Right off the jump, nice little push higher. We're getting close to yesterday's high. So we'll see what happens if and when we get to that yesterday's high. And then if we get to that, remember it's 595. That is our official breakout. So that's the area that we're potentially going to watch. I'm taking a look here at Google. That's rallying a bit. So anything that's selling right now, I'm thinking, what was it? Yeah, APLD. That is something that I'm going to watch where I'm in to the short side. This is the best part about systematic trading. I didn't get the manual side of this trade, but I heard the British man from Interactive Brokers yell at me and say, "You're in this." So that's great. So now we just have to see potentially what happens here. So at one point, the SPY was down, I think 0.5% today, and quickly reversed that and is now up to the green side. So that's looking great. Bitcoin just settling in here, and then we have, yeah. So we'll see what happens after this first 2-minute range. Again, I am expecting chop back and forth. I'm expecting a little bit of back and forth style action, just because of this number that's coming out and all of these resistance points that we said above, right? 93.50. Where did we get to? We got to 93.25, and now we're reversing just a little bit. APLD is selling nicely. I'm actually taking over here. Hold on a second. I am taking part of these off of the table. There we go. Just to lock myself in around the $10. Big psychological whole number at $10. It's one of those things in which, I expected a little bit of a bounce there, not for any real reason, just psychological level, right? Bio. Someone's saying uranium running nice. URNM. Yeah, well, that was jumping up a lot with that news, right? So NNE, OKLO, all of these names, SMR, all of these names are gapping up pretty nice on that news with Microsoft saying we need more AI, or we need more AI, so we need more power on the AI. Ooh, there goes SMR. This is, again, a swing trade I've had for a very long time down in the 15 area. That's working well, so I just need to figure out where to sell that. So yeah, some uranium news as well. On top of the, oh wow, I didn't know. On top of the only big news that I saw was the Microsoft deal. So but yeah, all these things look like they're moving. OKLO, NNE, all that kind of stuff. All these big guys are moving. GOGL selling off there on Google. Take a quick round look at the SPY. So now we've broken this pre-market high. We've come back and we've put in a little bit of a bottoming tail. So the question is, do we hold here or do we sell down here and break? And then potentially the next area to watch, I think, is 590, which is the 2-day VWAP. So there is the Qs breaking this level. So I am short a little bit. I heard the dude of TQQQ on the VWAP fade. Just because the Qs broke, I'll just mark up the Qs because it'll be about the same. So the idea is pretty simple, right? We gapped up a little bit. The whole point of what I'm doing is with this particular system is looking to fade gaps to the other side. Looks like, at least for now, right, we're getting that fade. So the 2-day VWAP is potentially where I'm looking for this thing to go. APLD is the only other trade that I took today. Took out some of this around, I think, 10.10. At 10.5, 10.10, somewhere around that when I hit the button. Target 979 on the rest. That will be a nice, good trade there if we get that. Then I'm just watching some of these other trades for systems that I'm playing with, systems that I'm testing here. So we wait. We have 13 minutes until we have that first economic news, getting a little bit of a bounce here on the SPY. So I would not be shocked. Yeah, just like you're saying here. Now we wait for JOLTS, right? JOLTS is a fairly large number. It's not like earth shattering. It's not like an FOMC day or anything, but it's a fairly large number. So I think there's going to be a lot of let's chill and let's wait for JOLTS, which might mean that this high of 593.25 and then maybe this low of 591.50, this holds for the next 13 or so minutes. We get that number out and then we push from there. So again, just over the economic calendar, JOLTS jobs openings right here, and then we have factory orders at the same time. So two numbers, both that are JOLTS is way more important, obviously, than factory orders. Okay, another short here. I heard the man yell. So this one I'm not a huge fan of because it's like a 1-to-1 risk reward. No one's hearing you, bud. No sound.
No way.
Oh, there you go.
You're back now. I was like, if this is no sound, then I'm just giving up. I'm throwing in the towel.
Man, we were saying that Steve's got a real world virus. Your computer's got like a digital virus going on. Like everyone's
just trying to shut me down, guys. I'm giving you guys too many good picks, so they're trying to shut me down. But guess what? They can't hold me back. Look at Hims go, man. Oh my God. What a miss on the swing on that one. Should have swung trade that one also on the 90 MA pullback. That was a pretty rip. Look at it, 65 90s. I would have traded this out the gates today too, man. It's just a little upsetting.
Stop talking about it. I'm long. You're going to jinx it. But no, this daily chart looks amazing, right? Big cup right here, and then a nice little handle.
Cup and handle, man.
Close to all-time highs. We've been talking a lot about how just buying shit that makes all-time highs makes a lot of money in the long run, and we're getting there. So,
you know it, man. You know it.
So
let's see if I can get this up here.
Doing well. It's biotech week. So yeah, we got JOLTS coming up. So JOLTS may give us a jolt. XBI, someone just mentioned, biotech's here. Kind of interesting. Nice little, it's looking like this base is holding for now, and this has been a really kind of beaten up sector for a long time. So it might be interesting to see getting this going. Again, I still have my Lily that's trying to bounce off this 550 or 750-ish, 725 support. See if we can kind of grind our way back up to new highs there. So a lot of cool stuff going on. So,
all right, I'm finally in, man.
Yeah. So the problem with Labu, right? And I always make sure you go back on Labu, right? It's one of those. It's good for short-term holds, and I know you're a short-term kind of swing trader, but it's one of those that it has to reverse split a lot. It dramatically underperforms in the long run, the actual index itself. But if you're taking like week to couple weeks to maybe a month speculative bets, it's a great vehicle for that. LABD would be the other, right, the opposite side of things, right? This is the bear ETF. So yeah, these just when you get to the 3 times, this is it was never a $24,000. And again, this is a feature. It's not a bug. It's how it's supposed to work, right? They use derivatives, and those derivatives degrade slowly over time. So I just saw my APLD getting very close to target here. That was a wicked trade right off the bat.
There you go. I had a feeling a nice pullback on it we get today. Nice trade there, man.
VWAP to VWAP shorts. That's going to be about a 3-hour trade. Again, I chickened out a little bit at 10, as I do, but just trying to see here. And there's the British man yell. So that's an exit on that. So that's one good one. I've got my OKLO to the short side. That one's just kind of farting around. Less interested in this one because it's just a one-to-one trade. Just trying to get to that 2-day VWAP. Again, everyone got really hyped about these uranium plays, so might just be a little chill. Here comes another one coming through.
Man,
pretty active morning.
NNE not looking too bad out there, man. Was able to take some profits this morning, and it's still doing really well on the swing. We're up to 33.30s. Got this at under 30 yesterday. So let's go.
Pullback that's is the beauty of it, right? So I'm fading these, and Mitch is swinging them, and away they go. Long Planet Fitness. We don't have these here, but
I like ARM today, guys. That's doing pretty well. It's already
nice there. Nice looking chart there.
Planet Fitness. Yeah, that's not a bad one. They raised their prices. Fundamental change. Some of the best moves you can do. Yeah. Looking around out there, guys. I like this ARM chart right out the gates here. We'll be looking for a pullback on that. See if I can get. I already got the VWAP move. It's going to be hard to get it now, guys. Nice little move on ARM here. I think the only way I get it here is it pulls back to like 127.50s here. But I'll put an alert to see if it gets back there. If it does, I'll alert you guys. But right now, that's already ripped off.
Trying to make a shot at highs here on the SPY. 17 minutes until jolts. So watch your butts. Shorting snow. Bold, but yeah, good. It's a good looking daily chart. For sure here on snow. We've been all up and down the cybersecurity chat this morning. Lily is looking okay. It's one of those, again, I'm long just against this support. It feels like one of those where I know my probability of being right is super low, but just a great risk reward play, right? You're leaning against 725. If you're right, maybe it makes it into the high end of the base and then above. So you're risking $20 to make $250. It's like you gotta take that trade. You just have to.
All right, guys. There's one that I want to open the swing on. GSRT is trying to make a move today. That's one that I've been talking about for a long time. So I'm going to take a little bit just to have some on the side, guys, on the swing account.
We've got Bitcoin trying to rally a bit. Some of these altcoins are doing okay. We've got Solana. That's outperforming Bitcoin right now. It hasn't been for a long time.
All right, guys, swings on long for GSRT, 200 shares, 1085. I've been watching this since the 1050, and it's starting to run today. Today could be the day that it finally gets back there towards the 11 breakout that it tried to do. Ran into some selling, but this is also what small nuclear reactors in the space, right? So I'm trying to play this off of a theme style play. So GSRT, I'm taking the swing trade on this. Going to risk about towards the 1050, which is about $70 on this trade. We'll see what happens with this one if it wants to rip up past the 11 today.
NUS. I don't know what this is, but New Skin Enterprises just came through as a swing trade for me. Again, this British man is screaming in my ear. I wish I would at least get me like a British woman's voice, like a nice, quiet, like whisper in my ear instead of this dude just screaming at the top of his lungs at me all day. Order filled. Order filled.
All right, not too bad. Trying to keep the positions. I'm going to start trying to do this for the swing. I'm trying to determine how do I like position into the swing account, right? Because I like to have multiple positions. If I can on a swing account, I can open up as many as like 10 to 11 positions. That's how I used to do. That was like my max. Like 10 is really like where I start to like hone it down a little bit.
Yeah, and it's way easier in swing trading to have a bunch of trades on because you don't have to baby every single one of them.
Right? Yeah, exactly. You're not babysitting them. You have
having
to give
10
yourself
different
room in swing trades.
Yeah, having 10 different day trades on is rough.
AMD looks good for a day trade today. I'm gonna like that one right now for a day trade, but I also like it for a swing. It's interesting. It just broke back above 115, pulling back here to the VWAP. Doesn't look bad if it can hold 114.50 right now.
That little undercut and rally type play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good look, right? The rainbows or horseshoes, I know a lot of people called them.
Mm-hmm. I took a little bit there, taking 100 shares there of AMD. Let's see if this can really start going here. There it goes up towards the 115. Let's see if it breaks 115, and then I can just hold on the 190s here. But just looking for it to first give me that first, momentum push here. Let's see if it wants to go here. AMD, I like the setup here on the 15 minutes, especially if it can close now towards 115.50. The daily chart, nice little setup. Could still come to the VWAP here. So that's why I'm trying to hold it tight off the 9 EMA here. Let's see if it wants to just go. There we go. Good little push on that first move. Now we're to that 115. Stop, break even. Let's let this ride. Let's let the momentum come in. Look to break the 115.40s. And then we can really, kind of start looking to take some profits on that rip. Now it could come back and get me right here towards the 9. I'm okay with reloading back towards VWAP.
Just got a long trade here on Google.
Right, coming to you, man. Coming to you.
GOOG. Again, just kind of VWAP to VWAP move. We knew, like everyone knew. I don't know why they got hit so hard. Everyone knew that Apple was going to replace their search. Like it's not new news. I don't know why we care about that. And then OKLO is the other one that I have. And I should have gotten filled on my exit here. So hold on, I'm exiting OKLO short. So 2 for 2 so far. Let's see what happens with Google. So that was an APLD short that went right to target so far, kind of bouncing off it. OKLO short, a little bit of a good trade there. And now we're long Google, and we have 12 minutes until Jolts. So just FYI, get Jolts. That's going to be a mover. Factory orders, it's not going to be much, but the two of them together might be. You might have those robots battling, right? They're trading this versus that. I know jobs is the thing that everyone's looking at right now. So this is a kind of a precursor to what jobs numbers could look like, which is why people get interested in it.
All right, guys, stop moving up. I'm into the green here, 1502 now. I'm going to look for AMD to run here. If it runs, it can go. If not, let it come back, get me out, ready to get back in. That's one of the things I'm trying to do a little bit more of, is being quick on the trigger. Now, sometimes you guys might miss like the full explanation of why I got in and out, but just I'll try to explain as much as I can as the trading actually happens, right? We'll see what's going on out there, guys. Looking good in some names out there. AEVA doing a really nice breakout. That continuing, that trend is strong. GSRT now getting towards 11. That's what I wanted to see, guys. Looking good on that one. I got 200 shares on that. NNE breaking down a little bit there. Thinking about maybe do I take the cash and run? I still have a really nice profit right now. It's kind of hard, right? I'm up over 10% on that name. But there it is on the pullback on AMD. I'll be looking to get right back in towards the VWAP. But there's NNE coming down here. Got to be watching the market here to see if it can hold on. But NNE over 10% overnight. It's kind of hard not to just take the money and run.
Yeah, OKLO. So out of that. So now I'm done wishing these things go down and hoping they go back up, because I do have my SMR from somewhere in this area. I think like 1920, I think, on this candle. And trying to hold that all-time high on SMR. trying desperately, but I think a lot of what we're seeing right now is just going to be noise until this number is kind of taken care of. Looking good. We're holding up near highs for now, and we're getting very close to this breakout. I think this breakout here, if we stick that, that's a very quick move into all-time highs, and then go to your favorite Twitter bear and just give him a pat and say, "I hope you're all right, bud." These guys are having a bad time.
Pony getting hit hard today, guys. Support break on that one today through the 16, and it looks like it's leaking bad. So that will be a stock I'll look to see if I get any bounce later in the day, but that's just been a full leak on Pony. Support break also. So nice looking trade there on a stock that came from nowhere, right? So back into AMD here on the 9 EMA break, back up. Let's see if it can hold and actually do the breakout here.
Southern Cope has 3 ongoing nuclear projects. SO. That's a nice looking long-term chart. A little cup and handle action there too. That one looks good.
All right, guys, in AMD here, let's see if it really wants to just get going here.
We got 8 minutes till we do some jolting.
Some jolting. You jolting. Don't jolt on me. We'll see what happens with that. Could get the shakeup to at least pull back, but right now things are looking good. Breakouts all around out there. I'm looking for some trades. Yeah. Pony leading the downside. Upside Hims up still 5% from the open. Strong stock today.
Yeah, it's this is the last couple days, especially if we get this breakout, if we stick the landing.
There we go, AMD.
595 on the SPY, it's going to be one of those throw the dart at the board, and you better be making money moments, right? One of those, if your stock isn't going up, your stock sucks, because everybody, I think, in the world is waiting for this range to break. So could also mean that it's going to be a bit of a nightmare, but
all right, so I'm thinking about taking a swing here on AMD and the day trade. So how am I going to do this? Well, I can't double load because of rules that we have on Trade the Pool. But Money Mitch is always smart and looking in deep inside of that fine writing, that fine print. So how am I doing it? Well, I just went long on AMDL. So AMDL is going to be the swing. I'm going to leverage that because I need buying power on that. So I'm going to take the swing with that one right there. I'll 577, take the daily, look for the pattern to come back towards like 658 and 7s, right? So I took 200 shares long on that. I could still even add another 100 shares, but I would look for a pullback to the VWAP to do that on the day, right? Like come back to 570s, 565s, and I'll try to improve my average and hold on the low of the day, which is 557. Let's see what happens. And did you like that style, Michael, going with the swing with the leverage position? A regular stock for the trade here, actually getting a nice breakout on this move already here. Let's see if we can get to the 116s before I take some profits, but it's ripping right now. AMD, let's go.
Yeah, I think I love these leveraged ETFs, right? You just have to know your time frame, right? And make sure that you're not going crazy with them, right? It's the only thing I always kind of warn people is that I think people hold these things for months or years, hoping that, right? Oh, I really like AMD, so I want double AMD's returns. And that's where people get burned. But for swing trading, these vehicles are phenomenal. I think they're amazing vehicles. So definitely take advantage of them, right? These are tools that we didn't have a long time ago. We didn't have a massive tool or massive breadth of these ETFs. We just haven't. So take advantage for sure.
All right, so what I'm going to also look for here is I have some names that I'm looking at, like Grail for the swing trade, right? And here goes AMD. I'm trying to get it closer to 116, but it's not getting there, guys. I might take half off here, look for the rest to keep running here. But the way the market's been, you got to take your rips, right? You got to sell on some rips. Look to see if it keeps going here. Let's see if the Qs can break the high. Come on, Qs.
All right, so I'm shorting HIMS. Again, it's just this is why I'm systematic, because like I really wanted this thing. That makes me want
to take some profits. You put the FOMO in me. Took some cash there on AMD. We'll leave the rest to actually run. Let's let that run, guys.
Yeah, it's been it's the beauty of being systematic, right? It's one of those things where it's hedged. I'm hedging myself, I guess. And you have to kind of put that hope on the table, because I'm obviously, like, I own a lot of HIMS. So I'm super bullish on it, but I just got to remember, right? Trade the system. This is the system I built. It's the thing that you guys have watched me build and test over the last few months. But you just
we could get a good move to 59 or 60 on HIMS now. And there's very few traders that probably made money shorting HIMS on that rip. I'll tell you guys, I was one of those this morning. I had a little revenge trade, but we'll talk about it.
You got it. It's one of those. Even if they work, you gotta slap the back of your hand, Mitch. Right?
That's I felt it. I literally. Why you think I calling it? You got to also label your trade sometimes, right? You got to catch yourself. Be like, "Yep, that one was a revenge trade, Mitch." Just because you cashed doesn't mean it was a good one. But
it's like it's worse for you when you do the bad thing, and the bad thing makes you money, because that's like, imagine you eat a slice of cheesecake and then you lose a pound. You go, "Oh, so I'm just right." It's like it's the bad kind of reward that you give yourself. So
here, guys. So you guys see it on the screen, so you guys know. I tell you guys the stories, and I tell you guys it all. Look at this short right here. Short 60.82, and then I got out. I took it some at 60.38. Took some at 60. I said, "Get out, Mitch. Stop doing that." Because the truth is, I wanted to long it earlier at like 7:15, and it just ripped off from me, and I was just like, dude, this is too much, too far. But you never know. You never know. Let's go back to AMD here. AMD looking good, going for the 116 break. Let's get it, AMD. Now it's all about the 9 EMA trail, right? I can just look for the 9 EMA to hold. This is what I'm trying to do more and more of, guys, is trying to trend trade and hold on trend trades. These are the ones that I think I do well on. And I got to be able to just stick to a style there a little bit more. Sometimes I trade different styles just a lot of the times because, another thing is we do a lot of teaching, right? I try my best not to just make this like kind of those chat rooms where it's just a run over, where it's just, you can only look at what Money Mitch is trading and you can only like what Money Mitch is trading. And that's the only chart I'm going to show you. No, that's not the way we do things here. I actually, like, you guys see me all the time. I'm going through different names that I'm not trading, but I'm just trying to tell you guys where the money is going also, so that you guys can find trades. Yes, I'm not going to give you the trade because that's not what we're here for, but can I help you find trades like solar ripping today? Hell yeah, I can do that. Why the hell is ZEO up? Well, it's a solar stock. Solar stock's getting a little run. And you know what that tells me?
We're getting
that we could get a technology run. Technology run. Exactly. Good job, Michael. That's exactly it. Right? Remember, I've told you this, right, Michael? I've mentioned this before, how some reason when technology runs, I take a look at to see what industry is running. A lot of times when we're having these momentum breakouts, it's solar that's also leading the day in that sector. So that's why it's always important to work backwards. And then what's behind that? Semiconductors. So we getting jolted right now? All right, let's get the data. I'll get the data out there, and I'll let you guys know exactly what's going on here. Let's pull up some Benzinga Pro. Let's get that data in here, and let's go trading. Be safe out there, traders.
The Qs. Yeah, so just to show what Mitch was saying, Qs ripping, new highs, trying to get to the high end of its base. SPY, that nice big actually green candle off whatever that JOLTS data was so far.
All right. Factory orders coming in here at the negative 3.7% versus a negative 0.1. So that shows that manufacturing slowing down, and we are getting pullbacks on this. So just be careful out there, traders. To protect myself on the swings and the day trades, what I'm going to do is on swings, on day trade, I'm break even. Swing on that AMDL, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold really break even here to see if the trend just continues.
Yeah, a little
you can always get out. You can get back in.
Like a pop and drop a little bit here on the Qs. So keep an eye on it, right? Again, this isn't like a huge FOMC type thing, but it was a 3-star number. So
let's get you the durables durables coming in there also. I'm still trying to get the important number. I still haven't gotten it on the JOLTS one. But I got negative 7.5 versus a negative 7.5 in durable excluding defense. So, I mean, the market's reacting good on this. I think overall, the Q's very, very little pullback, and the SPY still holding really well on the 9 EMA for the breakout on the 15. I'm going to look for that to hold. That's around the 292.20s level. So if we can just hold 292 today, I'm in bullish camp. I don't know about you, Michael.
Yeah, I don't want to tease myself, but we are getting very close to the high end of that range, that 595 on the SPY. Through that, then I think all bets are off, and we're hitting all-time highs right after that, and then bears cry because they're not long, right? They're not super short anymore, but they're not long. So.
All right, guys, remember I had taken some profits on AMD. I'm going to go for an add and break even here. Adding there, now break even. I'm going to look for a breakout above this high here, going through the 116. Let's see if we can do it. We're getting a nice little push here, a breakout above the 116. And I'll show you guys it straight from my chart here so that you guys can see the average, see what I did there. I was down here. I just moved up here. Why? Because I could still be below the 9 EMA, looking for the breakout here. And I could even sell some on the breakout and look for it to continue. The same thing I just did, right? Looking for the breakout above the 116 here. Let's see if we can get it. We're towards 115. 115. I'm up about 60. I'm trying to get it to break the 116. So I'm up towards like 100. Take another 50 on this name. Let's go. There's a 115.90s. Let's go for it. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see exactly what I'm trading here. See the pullback, bull flag, holding the 9. It's a repeated pattern. I love repeated patterns. I'm going to take some off here into the 15.90s. It's not wanting to get to the 16 there, so I'm trying to wait for the 16.
SPY struggling again, it's at today's high, but struggling, pulling a little bit back. So, it's like.
Stop off here, looking for it to really rip. NNE coming really down, man. That one's a little bit further down than I want today, but I just got to hold the plan. This is the big thing about swing trades. If you watch them too much, you can get very, very like too quick to the gun, right? As long as it makes a higher low today on the daily chart, I'm going to be happy. So I'm just going to try to put the break even stop, right? Protection stop, but just stop watching it. There's a reason why you're letting it work.
Well, and that's the thing with swings, right? Sometimes. So HIMS, someone was mentioning, so I got out of my HIMS here. So that's a full profit on that one. But obviously the Qs short I had, that one stopped out. So that was a short right here and then a stop right there. So that was a small stop, but HIMS profit. Only trade I got on right now is the Google, just to see if this one's going to grind higher. Looking relatively weak to something like, AMD or pretty much most of the market. So, protection about that now. I'm to the point now, if we get a close under view app, a 2-minute close under view app, I'm just going to kill that guy and just going to move on from there. So
SPY tried to break the 594. That's what I'll be watching for, like a move to 594 here. Let's see if we can do that.
Yeah, we backed off. We're trying. That's now 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts to break that area.
Amazon looks great here, man. Man, it's just such a big stock. I got to go and find the leverage name here. But
AMZU, Amazon, I think.
That just looks great. I don't know. Take a look at that. What do you think on that chart, on that daily?
Well, I think it looks great. It's one of those, again, if we break here, everything's going to rip. So make sure you're fully invested in names that you think are going to trigger. But yeah, AMZU is a double leveraged Amazon stock. And it's only $30.
I like it. I like it. All right, I got a risk on the 33 on that one. I'm going to do about 100 on this one. All right, we'll take some Amazon too. Just got it there, guys. Picked it up there. And you see, one of the things that I try not to do too much is get too pretty. Of course, I would love to have gotten the 33.10 attempt, the support try. But in this case, I could just go for it and then kind of hold on VWAP support for the first risk. Look to close green today, and then I can start moving back to break even. So pretty much don't break the momentum, which is the VWAP. Stay bullish on the day.
APLD is triggering again. I don't think I'm going to take it.
All right, that's looking good there. All right, got some trades on, guys, and AMD's attempting that 90 EMA pullback here. So I'm gonna look for it to hold. If not, I'm willing to get out here, and then just look to get back in if it goes back to VWAP here. So the SPY pulled back there, which is going to cause maybe a VWAP attempt here. So with that being said, I'm playing off the 90 EMA. Got to respect it here. I set a stop there in the green and going to give it the chance to go back up for the breakout.
Yeah, so this is it's trying, right? It's a very tight base today. Considering the the news that we've had, right? And we've had a couple, not huge, but decently important news events. The fact that we are inside such a tight range.
Just grab me a little bit there in AMD, maybe a little bit further back. Maybe should wait for the close, but the close on that last candle was below the 9, giving me the trigger to get out on that trade.
So yeah, we are it's a 0.2% range today from high to low. So very, very, very tight. It's one of those you're gonna get
MCTR small stock alert trying to break the high of the day.
Oh geez, yeah.
That's a breakout right there.
CTRL group is kind of funny.
Advertising agency, and that is a big 1 hour chart. What I like about this is stock is relatively new. Daily breakout through a trend line, and now you're really moving. This looks like it's starting to hold. I'd look for maybe 955s on pullbacks, but right now it's breaking out there and it's strong.
I wonder if it's one of those others that like YOLO'd Pepe coin or something.
It did something. Right, there's the AMD pullback to the VWAP. I might buy this on VWAP here. Looking for 115 on AMD.
It's really it's all sitting here on the SPY that's now broken its daily low. So we had a little breakdown here on the SP 500 and the Qs as well. Although the Qs are looking relatively strong to the S&P 500, we got to keep that in mind that we are breaking down just a little bit. So, the longs are something that we gotta worry just a bit about, or not, because we're bouncing now again. Yeah, very, very range bound kind of action. I don't know if they're waiting for all these Fed yahoos that are talking later, but none of these guys seem important at all.
Yeah, I think you got to just be careful here. We are getting some recoveries already. AMD hit that VWAP and came right off of it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, the SPY broke that pre-market low and just turned around to rip here.
That MCTR halted, just to let you guys know.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating everybody here. It's what the market does.
Didn't get to the VWAP on my other one here, so I'm going to wait for AMD to pull back a little bit more. But hey, we can get back in it if we need to. Up about 90 on the day, guys. Going to try to keep chugging along. Keep chugging along. Let's go. Hims with a crazy pullback. You almost got it there to the level. Well, get back here towards right around this level, right around 59, 58. That's where I felt like it could pull back to. So you're getting that move really quickly here. We'll see if it starts to bounce.
The 2-day VWAP was $60, pretty much on the nose, a little bit above that, like 60.25. So that's where I exited that one.
Look for a triple bottom.
The only trade I've got on right now is my Google, and again, a 2-day or 2-minute close below VWAP. I've got it on another screen here. I'll catch that and get out.
All right. What's leading the market today is energy, technology, and industrials. Industrials are one thing to watch because it got hit hard yesterday with that steel trade, right? So keep your eyes on that. Leading downside action, a lot of utilities, healthcare, some financial services taking a hit, but starting to bounce. So that's what I'm watching for on like kind of the 15-minute chart, that those names that are the most hit are starting to bounce. I'll be watching for that. Financial services already bounced. So did utilities. Healthcare and defensive still haven't bounced here, but we're starting to get some green led by energy in the recent 15 minutes. So we'll
Yeah,
take
so
a
we
look and
had
see.
that
XOM.
little undercut here. So you talk about our undercut and rallies right here on the spot. We undercut the current day's low at 592, went down to 591.80, and then just reversed on a dime. And it looks like it's pushing higher here. So that could have been, maybe that's the only liquidity grab they think they're going to be able to get. And so that's the one they took. Generally, they're trying to target pre-market highs, pre-market lows, that kind of thing. But it's a little bit of a flush down, and so far holding back on top of VWAP. And then the Qs still relatively strong. Qs didn't get anywhere near today's low, just hit VWAP and then bounced pretty nicely. So that's probably why, right, names like AMD didn't even get to its VWAP and starting to bounce nicely. My Google is underperforming here on this little bounce for sure.
All right, AMD coming back into play. Q's looking a lot better here. The question is, do I time it here or wait for a little bit longer into the pullback? And I'm looking to see if what's going to happen here with the Q's. It's already taken off. That's the thing with AMD. It's very momentum-ish, right? And so it's recovered the 9 here and starting to push.
Yeah, for sure. Need to see after we had that little flush, because that was not insanely dramatic, but for today it was dramatic. It was kind of 4 minutes straight down, and then it almost feels like a buy program was just flipped on at that point and saying, okay, we're taking this thing higher now that we can get it.
Coin doing pretty well on the bounce back today. That was a big red yesterday, starting to bounce back.
Yeah, Bitcoin just still can't get going. Crazy that we're seeing Solana outperform, and we are seeing Ethereum outperform Bitcoin in the last little bit. It's not something you normally see. I think if we get any kind of a pop in Bitcoin, we get this breakout in the SPY. Just feels like Bitcoin's a bit of an anchor around our head, kind of holding us down.
Interesting trade today, Clean Spark. I kind of, these don't get the love, but man, it keeps setting up here. We'll see what happens on it. I think above 9, it could be a swing for me, but it would have to just really take a look here. But the long-term support is right off of this. It keeps getting bought into this 870s, 850 range.
With these, again, I used to love to trade Mara. I got a couple like 50+% gains in Mara. I just look at it as why, right? Why trade this when you could do a hood, or you could just trade?
They're a little far gone though, right? This is picking up now where I think sometimes when trends are extended, right? Like once we get to this area where buys are hard, sometimes when buys are hard, I think it makes sense to kind of look to see where you can find some relative easier valuations, right? To kind of get picked up. Because I feel like the tide like lifts all boats eventually, right? If this is really that big of a breakout in Bitcoin, Clean Spark and Mara should go also at some point.
Yeah, just my thinking on it is that if Bitcoin goes,
Long
I'm going to buy double.
again.
I'm going to buy double leverage Bitcoin, right? And then Fed talk at 1 p.m. Yeah, it's not really. I was looking at that, and it's here on the economic calendar. It's just old Gouldsby again starting to rant. Right, so I don't think anyone cares really what Gouldsby says anymore. We had the man yesterday. We had the only one that we give a crap about chat yesterday, and that really helped us out and helped the market out. But do they care about Gouldsby? I don't know.
AMD is just not doing it here. I'm trying to stay in it. We're really tight risk right now. Off to 61s, I'm risking right now. It's to 71s. I just got in. looking to see if it wants to just run to 116 and take off, because AMD can do that and will do that at some times. So giving it the chance here with the Qs kind of hanging in, just got to stay really tight on the trade, not show my hand unless it pulls back here. So I'm also not just putting the stop out there, because if I do, I have a feeling I'd already get triggered. So let's see what happens here. Now it's trying to get towards the 80s, trying to pop through. Then it can really start to going. There we go. Now towards the 80s. At this point, once it hits 90s, I can actually throw the stop on break even, putting me back into those scalping style momentum plays, right?
Yeah, it's just, I think what we're in this market, right? It's until we break that range, which, right, ever since we did that kind of scoop and score, undercut and rally or whatever on the SPY, it looks like a bit of a buy program is potentially coming in here. So we're getting back to today's highs. Again, through that, we could see this 595 high. And then again, through that, things could really, really get going. So we are on the cusp, but it's done a lot of that today where we get really close and then we fail, and then really close, and then we fail. So just be careful. But this, if you look at these bars, again, when I say feels buy programmy, it's this kind of thing where, right, every time any of these bars pull back, you see they just snap right back up. So it's just, that's an algorithm that what it does is it looks for, right, give me X amount of down pullback and then send out a market order, and then a little bit of a down pullback and send out a market order, right? So if it's really still on, we'll see that, right? This bar will come in maybe halfway into this bar, and then you'll just see it pop right back up through. Again, feels like what's happening again ever since this low right here where it was
out of AMD. Gonna look to get back in a second here if I need to for the 116 break.
This Google is holding on. Google is holding on for now. So this again is the only one I have on. But I'm looking to see if this breaks, and I'm waiting for more alerts to come through.
All right, looking around. Pony is down 14%. It is getting whacked. Oof, clean spark going for the break, going for the upside break there.
Everything's looking like it's trying to go for that upside break. So let's see. Like we're waiting on bated breath, because I get it. You don't have to be a technician. Everyone in the world is watching this zone, anywhere from 593.50 to again that ultimate high of 595.50. There is so many traders waiting for that, just to see if we end up getting through. It's going to trigger a lot of longs, and things are going to probably potentially continue there to highs.
All right, guys, I'm going to probably go for some Grail action here. Of course, this is one that we've talked about before. I'm loving it if it hits 38, but I'm just looking to see if the Qs are going to do that push off type of day. We could be having that right now. Qs haven't pulled back barely anything on the 15 minutes. That's what's telling me. Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. These are the type of days where you sometimes be on the gas pedal.
Yes. Yeah, that's why you can see there's a lot more focused talk today than maybe in prior days.
That's why I'm trying to take like very quick opportunities and ride the momentum. Like AMD right now, I'm missing it right now. I don't want to jump up here though, because now I'm like chasing. I know when I'm chasing, when I'm not. How do I know that? I use my moving average to remind me, right? Right here, I'm starting to get extended and I'm already missing the move. So AMD could pop right here. And you know how it is when you miss it 2-3 times, it's on the third time usually. When you get that real break. And what is this? This is the rule of 4, rule of 3 kind of coming into play also with AMD. I'll show you guys that right now. You guys can see it right here on the chart. 1, 2, 3. So on this one, it should go. If it doesn't, I'll expect a VWAP pullback. So we'll look to see right here if it just takes off. I did get Grail though. Took 50 shares of that on the swing. So the swings are on right now. The swings are on, man. I'll show you guys it. Look at this. Look, 5 positions on, guys. With a $10,000 account, all position values all around like that to $3,000 range, right? Don't want to get too far into that, but Amazon's probably one that I'm willing to go a little bit heavier on, right? Just because it's Amazon, don't got to worry about too much overnight risk. But we'll see what happens with these other names. And then E is the best position right now, and that's what's kind of leveraging me into the green to take some of these. But hey, there you go. We're getting after it.
That's how you do it when you're swing trading. It's all about I always got you water the flowers and you pull the weeds, right? That's the idea I always have with swing trading is you're entering a lot of positions, tons long, short. You always want to make sure you're pretty much always invested both long and short if you can. Yeah. And then anything that's not looking good, you're killing, and then you're replacing it with something that does look good. And then repeating that process kind of over and over again forever.
Yep. And I also took some money out in NNE this morning, right? I took 25 out at 33, still holding 75 shares of it. So as long as that can kind of close above 30, we're still looking really good. And that's normally what I'd look for on day two. Day two of a swing trade, I'm just like, close above my level. You've already given me the first profit. We'll start looking a lot better. Tesla long, if we break 200 SMA on the 5, all right, looking forward. I'll see. We'll take a look to see how it goes there. That was at 1018. Let's take a look how Tesla's looking. It's trying to break up there. It's had a couple of attempts to try to get to the 350s, but we're starting to slow down a little bit. Let's see if we do a 90 MA pullback here on Tesla. If it does just break back through the 349, I do like it. It looks good there. We'll see what happens. Rejected from the 200 there. Okay, so we'll look to see what happens. And you said on the 5, right? I have the 200, but I have the EMA, so maybe it might be a little bit higher.
Yeah, and that's the problem I always have with moving averages, right?
All right, AMD going for the breakout here. I'm going to go for a little bit here, guys, and just risk a really tight spot here. All right, took a little bit of AMD here. We'll look to see if it goes for the 116 break. I'm going to risk off like right around like the 74 mark. It's not doing it, not doing the quick move right here. So you got to be careful that it breaks and it breaks fast. Small pullback here. Going to look for the breakout right back up. There it goes back to the 84s. Now it needs to take out the highs here. I'll put AMD so you guys can see the exact chart I'm looking at right there. On the 1, you see the 9, right? Is it going to go for the 116? Anything below this, and I know I got to get out.
It's a nice looking chart. Everything's kind of based near highs. SPY is kind of grinded its way through today's high and is holding, at least for now. It certainly could fail, but that's what we want to see, is us to get through that high and then hold for a number of candles, right? If it can hold for 10, 15 minutes, that gives a lot of people who seek confirmation the feeling that yes, they can take the trade, they can have a good time with that.
Gale picking up, looks good. Yeah. Seeing a lot of my swings turn green there, so that's a good sign there. And the key here, I'm playing with the house's money, right? Like I've already made some money on AMD, so I can keep doing these little risks and scalping on the momentum as I've made the money, right? That's one thing that I'm trying to do more and more of. Use the house's money to play, and if not, then call it a day, right? Like, I feel like sometimes the number one thing that traders got to understand is there's going to be days for the gas pedal. There's going to be days for the brake pedal. We really, really need to focus. What type of day am I going through? Maybe it's a checklist at 10 a.m. so that you can find out, are you on the gas pedal or are you on the brake pedal? And does it match what should be happening in the market?
Yeah, and a lot of it you can tell, again, just by our chatting and the amount of trades that we're taking, right? Yeah. Is there tons of trading going on, or there's sometimes that we're just taking one or two, and a lot of it just has to do with the range of the market, right? Where if the market's not doing anything, then you're trying very hard not to force it. And right now we're in a little bit of a lull since we broke that high. But
let's go AMD.
I think that lull is a good thing, right? I think the fact that the market is basing here is pretty bullish and kind of incredibly bullish for it. Just because we're getting a little bit of a move here in Bitcoin
going
too.
For it. AMD going for it. Let's go. Let's go. I don't even have the stop on because it's going to show my hand here. Now above 116, if it breaks out to 116.20s, I can put break even and we're riding the 9 EMA trend again.
Yeah, the SPY is doing kind of the same. It's just basing here at these highs, giving no give back at all. So that's obviously bullish, the thing we want to watch for.
Go.
See if we can get through that.
Looking good here.
So, all right, Trump, just don't tweet nothing or truth
just don't
or whatever
tweet.
it is. Just we're
stay on the toilet today.
We're like edging this.
Do where you're thinking is best on the toilet, but no tweeting. Someone take his phone away.
Man, I always thought they should just give him a dummy phone, like that pretends it goes out.
It sends it to the editor. Really, it just acts like it sent it out. Yeah, I hear you. That could be a smart move for him. An oopsie check.
Go tweet away. Yeah, it goes right to it. Don't you worry. Don't you check.
All right, guys, not trying to show my hand here, but if I see 116, I'll put it out on AMD, break even. I'm just still holding on to it. This is one method that I like to do. So with the chart trading, one thing I can do is I can click on, right, but not let go. This takes skill, right? You got to actually know how to do this, but you can have it like literally on the moment that you let go, the order is going to get put out there. But as I'm clicked, it doesn't know where I'm putting it, right? So it has to let go. So essentially the algorithm still shouldn't know where I'm going, but I'm getting ready to trigger an order, right? And so I like doing that sometimes in moments like this, especially for scalping, right? That's essentially what I'm doing right here. It's not only just trend trading. At this point, since I'm far from the VWAP, I have to scalp if I want to keep trading this.
SPY is trying again just to grind into a new high. Like I was saying, Bitcoin, we're actually having a bit is the key word, a bit of a Bitcoin rally here. So just grab this, right? You're seeing, do like an hourly chart. So it makes no sense to do a 2-minute chart on Bitcoin, but trying here a little bit. And like I was saying, I think what we need in order to break this high on the SPY and on the Qs is Bitcoin to participate, because it's the risk on asset. It's the thing that we need. So I think it's one of those things that we need this to occur. So we just got to sit and wait, right? And so far it's coming with us, right? And so far we've gone from
energy's ripping,
4,000 points, but 1% here on Bitcoin was negative early in the day and is pretty much flat, and depending on what exchange you're looking at, where that anchors that. So
gosh,
with that, so goes the SPY.
I don't know why energy's ripping, but energy's ripping.
Yeah, XLE, nice push. It is Tuesday, so what we got? Natural gas stuff. No, is that Thursday? But yeah, I don't think there's any numbers anybody cares about here.
I wish there was some leverage grail.
There goes the SPY. There goes the SPY.
I wish there was some leverage grail. I can't get it. Break even stop put on for me on AMD. Guess what? No stress. Let her work. Let her work.
Mm-hmm.
Only swing really in the red, Amazon, and that's just because I got it near the high, right at 64. It's trying to reload on the VWAP, it seems like, Amazon. So I could trade the actual day trade Amazon, right? And so it's right there on the VWAP. Looking to see if it can hold it. I'll show you guys that chart. That's Amazon right there on the VWAP. We'll look to see what happens here. Daily chart just looks great if it can start working back towards 215. Really wanted to hold kind of yesterday's close, 206.47. So let's see if this really starts to make the push right back up. Could do a 9 EMA hold, like maybe a 207.30. We'll see what happens. There's AMV turning right back down, so we could start seeing some pullbacks out there, guys.
The SPY is not going to make it. The other thing I should say about this 593 to 595 being so heavily watched is, the more a level is watched, the less the market makes it easy on you. So the more BS we might have around this number, but it feels like we are just on the edge of potentially breaking out here for first time in weeks, which
Looking
again,
around.
I'm very long a lot of things, so I'm certainly rooting for. But the more people that watch that number, the more I think it's like, okay, they're gonna go a bit, they're gonna fail, they're gonna go a bit, they're gonna fail it.
KLAC, we're looking really good on the daily. That one's like an AVGO where like I got to find where the big boys are hiding. I think part of their positions are in those, man. Those are just looking too good. Like this AVGO, just complete breakout, right? So I'm looking for names like that. I think this KLAC just looks pretty for bigger money to kind of really position bigger money in here because it's just a really nice pattern, really sideways. Looking for it to break 800. And then also retail traders seem to stay away from stocks over 100. So this tells me more and more this could be more of that bigger trader kind of thing looking into KLAC. Meta?
Energy ripping on Meta News? No, I think that was this morning, I think.
Yeah, that's
I think you're talking about the
news.
Microsoft move, yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, that was this morning, so that's already priced in.
Yeah, there's some other ones, right, where we can look into that area and see what's going on. But yeah, definitely not just CEG, right? You can look into the space, start looking for it to trickle down. So in the green today, one that I've been looking at for a while, man, waiting for this to move. BEP. BEP. I'm going to take a little bit of a flyer on this one.
Yeah, nothing from our boy Walter that could be causing that as well. So it could just be big order getting filled, right?
All right. I need a pullback to 24 for BEP for a swing, but I would love it, man. Love it. Been talking about this one for a little while now. It's also part of those stocks like VST, right? NRG, the same space of CEG. This is when I look for that leader to laggard style move, right? NRG is one of those stocks right now that just keeps holding and ripping to the next level. CEG, of course, right? So I'm looking for pullbacks on these. I'm always looking for maybe one that hasn't taken off to start getting the hot move, right? And this one's gotten a lot of volume lately, but hasn't really taken off. And now all above the moving averages. If it could break above 25, it won't be looking too bad on a nice little base to start breaking a long-term trend line. I like long-term trend line approaches also. So this one is one that I wouldn't jump too early, but if it can really break this line all up here, right? Start getting back through that 25, going towards like 28, starts to look really nice on BEP.
Yeah, that's
monthly chart.
Long-term downtrend. If those get reversed, especially on some sort of fundamental catalyst that comes with it, those can be.
Yeah. And this is what you want to see, right? Is an accumulation of volume lately, right? And so there's a lot of volume change, right? This was on a super long downtrend of volume, and now it's adjusted, right? So you can see this downtrend, and now all of a sudden spike, right? So that's what I like to look for. And that's how I give a signal also. So I usually take a look at the price action and then look at volume to see if the volume matches what the price action is showing me. MACD starting to cross, all things kind of giving me more conviction on this play. Interesting.
Yeah, nice looking little breakout here. It all hinges here on the SPY. That's
Hims. What happened to Hims?
Pulling back, but
it's been on a pullback all morning. You still got it? Still got the Hims?
I'm out. I was out at 60.
Oh, I can't blame you. 58, 60. That was a good trade, man.
That was a 2-day VWAP. That's what the system says. So that's what I do.
Q's turning on us a little bit here, guys. We got to be careful a little bit. It's just more of a pullback. But I think in trend trades right now, you just got to be careful. Whenever we get pullbacks, making sure you're not getting wiped out, right? That's what matters here.
Yeah, so the question is, we're coming back to VWAP here. The question is, does that VWAP hold? When do we bounce from there? Or is that just kind of, is that it for now? And it, it could be, right? This is, the more we base at this area, the more bullish overall I think everything is, right? So, totally okay with that. So it's like, as much as you want the breakout and you get excited for the breakout, the more that the market rests before the breakout is generally going to be just a healthier way to have those trades. Instead of, it's like what I talked about with APLD and why I was okay with shorting that ripper, is because it moved a long way and very quickly to get to a resistance zone. So in that case, I think it's totally fine to say, okay, you need a rest. You need to chill out a little bit. You need to take a deep breath. And that's what we're seeing here a little bit in the market.
Grail looking good. I got this one on the swing, guys. I think that the hot traders are looking to see if this thing really starts going. If it gets back to the 45, I'm going to be looking really nice on the swing. That's why I'm swinging it here off the support. Just gives me the opportunity that if it does go even for just a little breakout through that 45, I'm already up 16%. So we'll see what happens on Grail.
That's how you want to do it, right? You get as much wiggle room as you can. That gives you the mental kind of safety to go, okay.
Yeah. And you see, I'm trying to pick the names that have story, the names that have decent action, right? Amazon, I got NNE. Probably the most speculative pick is that GSRT, but it's a very small and tight risk, looking in a good theme.
Mm-hmm.
MCTR, that thing was halting all around, got towards 11, now on a down halt. And wouldn't you know it, down halt after what? How many halts? What do I normally say? At least my data tells me 3 halts and then the down move. What happens on that MCTR? 3 halts.
Jeez.
1, 2, 3, and then the down halt.
There's got to be a way in 2025
right
we can get away from that halt stuff.
No, they'll never get rid of it. It just gives the advantage to the other side. It doesn't give the advantage to the retail trader.
Well, I get why they did it. I traded through the flash crash, right? There's people jumping out buildings and stuff. I get it, but like,
oh, AMD coming right back, guys. Right back. AMD trying to break 116 again here. I was in hit just before this 116 break. Is now the time. AMD is looking strong here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let it run on the swing here and not touch it. Let's see if it goes for the 116. If it comes back to VWAP, I'll play it a little bit later today for the day trade. So let it go on the swing.
You do it, right? You got to keep both those minds working in kind of the same direction but different directions, right? And that's why I always say it's kind of hard for something like HIMS. Made good money from the day trade, but kind of bummed that the swing trade is pulling back this much, right? But it's just kind of, if anything, like Steve says, well, yeah, if Steve says, right, you take the money you made from the day trade and you add it to your swing. That's right. If you made a couple bucks from your day, then add it back to your swing.
That Grail's looking a lot better, starting to get back towards 40. Well, the thing about Grail too is that the spread's a little wide, so it's one of those where once you're in, yeah, you can ride it, but it's hard to get in. So it makes sense for me more on a swing trade than the day trade. Look at the spread right now; it's like 30 or 40 cents, but it's starting to move in the right direction here. So let's see if it really takes off. Yesterday, it was already looking good, and then it completely it went back down. I won't say crap the bed, but it tried to make that move through 41. So that's what I'd watch today. If you could break hard through 41 and not stop there, maybe we head to this green line, right? And start to go for the wedge look, which is 42.50. I at least brought this one up. This was my swing alert on Trader TV if you guys caught me this morning. Diana talking about I'm long AMD, looking for the 117.50 swing. That's what I like to hear. Appreciate it. That, you know what, Diana, I'm not going to touch it right now, so it could really go. But don't worry, I got the swing on with you. And trust me, I'm itching there, like itching to hit it on the day trade. But we'll let it go.
Yeah, because this is all the news that got us pumped this morning was all like AI related type news. So
yeah, that's what you want to be looking at, man.
It could make perfect sense if that's what
so let's see Nvidia doing the same move, right? Is it doing something different? No, it's actually holding the trend, holding the VWAP, right? Done a couple of cuts below it. It's very similar move right now, and it seems more like it's on that 5 EMA pullback look. Let's see if it takes off to 142 here, and then the Qs can go with it, right? So we'll see what happens here. Grail looking good. I'm just hanging off. I still am in the green on the day, so I don't got to push the gas pedal too much. This is one thing that I've been trying to do more and more, is just kind of keep working the green days. I don't even want to mention how long the streak is going, because you never do that.
You never. No.
You don't
That's
mention it. You just keep trading. But
as much as I laugh at Wall Street Bets, I love one of their sayings, which is, if it's good enough to screenshot, it's good enough to sell. It's the same thing with, right?
Oh, don't say those.
You know what I mean? It's right. If it's really happy that
let's go AMD.
Yeah, that things are going that well, you get like really, really careful. OIH saying,
let's go AMD. Go for the break. Go for the real break. I won't be mad at you. Right? We got this flag. We got this fake out. Could have been the liquidity move here on Friday, and now just straight uptrend. Let's go.
Yeah, potential good breakup out there, and oil services there. Attack. That's a good look. Again, all this stuff is kind of, I think all of this is pointing to the AI trade is back. So make hay while the sun shines.
All right, added to my AMDL there, and I'll go with that. It's a 116 break, so I'll go with the add on the swing that I said I could add a little bit more to that trade and look to see if it can keep going. I could even add a little bit more. I'm trying to keep the position value as the focus, and also kind of the risk to return, right? But another thing that I'm trying to do is risk like I am in AMD, which is what? Which is just the support break, recovery, the strategy that we talked about, right, Michael? Like right there, risk on the low of that candle. Right, I have to risk all the way down towards this low of this AMD candle or AMDL to give it, the perspective of what I'm really risking on. So I have the stop right now at 557. So as long as it can hold the intraday low, I'm long. And if it can really hold above VWAP, that shows me conviction that I'm timing it correctly. Right.
So. Yeah, and the beauty of getting those kind of undercutting rallies is it's very easy or very obvious where your stop is. Right. Yeah. My stop is here. I am to do nothing until one of my favorite quotes from my buddy Brian Lund always just says, when they say, well, how do you exit your swing trades? He goes, is it an uptrend for your time frame? Whatever that is, right? Some people are using 30-minute charts for time frames, and hourly charts trigger me because of the whole 6.5 hour day that we're trading. But whatever that time frame is, you just look at it and you say, is it in an uptrend trend for this time frame? Yes. Hold, right? No, get out, and make it pretty binary, or make it pretty simple for yourself like that. And then again, the less thinking you do, the better. I think your entire thought process should be on the setup, and then everything else you should just
I want to show you guys the setup from other stocks that are doing well today, right? They're going to maybe look a little bit better because they're doing well, and I'm being like a little stock selective here. But look at AEVA. Right, support at 17, it undercuts towards 1697, recovers VWAP, and what has it done all day since 1750? Boom, right? That's 136 to the resistance, and that's what? Only about 53 cents on the support. So nice 3-to-1 looks, right? So that's another thing that you want to be thinking of, right? What's the good risk to return for this strategy? To me, I've been noticing it. It's probably going to be about, and I got to do the math and do some back testing to get better on this, right? But for right now, I'm just like rough estimating it. I'm thinking it's going to be about 30%, 30% strategy, right? So then you got to remember that you're going to be wrong 7 out of 10 times. So what do? Just risk manage like hell, right? That's going to be the key to this strategy. Risk manage like hell and ride the waves when they ride, right? And so what's going to be the key on riding the wave is a stop loss strategy, right? How do I get out in the position? What am I going to use? A trailing? Am I going to use a moving average? Things like that are going to determine it. Let's take a look at coin. What does it do today? Nice little undercut towards the pre-market support, recovers VWAP. Where does it go? It goes 12 points off that break when the risk to the low was only 3.25, right? Another 4-to-1 setup on this one, on coin, on the reaction, right? Mara doing a good move today, guys. Something told me about these. They look good. I didn't want to trade it because you know how it is sometimes. But Mara looked good and CleanSpark looked good this morning. They could keep running. And with the market the way it is, it could just
they're going to move
lift.
Some with Bitcoin, right? It just depends.
This is telling me too, though, right? The one that's been hit hard that was going against Bitcoin is starting to react back up, which is MSTR. So I know that, you don't believe in the should I go with the MSTX? Oh, it doesn't.
Yeah, there you go. Get a leverage Ponzi. I own MSTR.
Leverage Ponzi, baby.
Right? As much as
I'd
it's a Ponzi,
I'd have to risk down to here, right? So I need to get closer to the VWAP. That's the key. So I don't buy it here. I put an alert and I say, come call me. Come call me that you want me to buy you. I need a discount, essentially. I need a rollback on this bad boy.
Well, and this is great, right? When you follow your own rules, trading becomes muscle memory. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's just one step removed from what I do, which is just fully systematic, right? It's fully systematic. The robot goes, all right, you've programmed that when XYZ happens, it's time to buy, and it's time to buy. And I'm just watching it and telling you guys what's going through there. And soon, I think, in quotation marks, we'll be able to do this with Trade the Pool as well. And I'll be able to show you that whole process, which will be super fun. But yeah.
All right, guys. Well, there is a good tale of today and a bad tale of today. And one of the bad tales of today is the NNE position triggering out at break even there. So that one's a little frustrating here because it's already back up. Could have gotten hunted right on the bottom of that 29.95. I'm at 29.97. Got hit there with 2 ticks on the low of the day. And I was up 10% on this position. So things that I need to kind of review, right? What's going to be the profit take that I have to take? Because this morning I was fighting myself on that NNE. I had a really good profit in that, right? And so it's kind of hard sometimes because on the daily chart, this still looked like it could get towards the 35s, right? But on the pop, on the gates, we got close to there. Maybe it should have taken a little bit more. But hey, it's all about learning lessons, right? So I'm always going to tell it to you guys straight. I'm going to show it to you guys. In this case, getting stopped out on NNE down here. So in this case, what I'd like to see is the SPY continue, and then I could get back in it. There's nothing wrong with getting back in it. Did make some money, but stopping out break even there for protection. And it was more like I didn't see it get hit here. So now I'm going to be watching to see when the hourly trend can change back to the upside. I'll be watching to see what happens on NNE. Because if the hourly trend is still red, I don't need to get back in. I could get back in at 31s and look for the move again. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, SPY flirting again with today's high.
Looking
to push out.
Yeah, this looks to me like it's following this V bottom, guys. This V bottom shape. I've been drawing this because this is the key for me. As long as you can go sideways right into this line and then just rip right back out. Right, so looking good on the SPY, man. I think every dip towards this line has been bought, right? Every dip towards this line has been bought, and it started from back here, right? It started on the 21st, right? Trend line once you get 3 data points, right? So to me,
that's the positioning, right? Yeah. Like we know they're not long. They have to be long. They were short, and they're still a little bit short, but they were short a lot all the way up until Friday. So
using these wicks from the last 2 days to probably fill in, right?
Yeah,
these wicks, and then now
every dip will get bought until as soon as we start to see them very long, then then we look to maybe fade positioning on the other side of things. Once they get very long, it's usually the top, and when they get very short, it's usually always the bottom. So I hate to, on such a good day, dip off a little early, but I gotta take 10 minutes here.
Yeah, go ahead, my friend.
Go get a sick kid. Again, she just finished her 3rd round of antibiotics. I don't know what they're going to give her this time. Just like a nuke to the gut at this point. So I will see all you guys tomorrow. Please don't rug pull the market while I'm away. Please, I'm very much as a swing trader enjoying this rally. So yeah, I don't break it on me, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Don't break it. Don't break it. Hey, have a good one, Michael. Get on out of here, my friend. We'll definitely miss you, and we'll take a look to see if we get some more trades on here. I'm still looking at NNE to get in there, but I think I'm going to wait to try to get a better entry than even I had yesterday. But yeah, to me, I'll review this one. Maybe should have taken a little bit more. I took 25. I was thinking about taking half. Maybe that's more the move for me. 2 profits versus 3 targets. These are things that you got to kind of think about, right? When you're swing trading, how many profit takes do you want to take? Do you want to take 1, 2, 3? And so in this case here, especially out the gates, I mean, I was, dealing with some computer issues, but I took some at 33. Should have maybe taken some off at 34 and then let the remainder right on this support, maybe 32.50s. But hey, that's how it is sometimes. Still looking good out there. Amazon did pull back and get me out towards the low here. So I'm going to look to maybe day trade Amazon right now because the market's still looking really good here. We could catch some buys here in Amazon. All right, let's go to Amazon here so you guys can see the chart that I'm looking at right now. Going to look for this to get hot again right here. Market's still breaking the highs right now. SPY breaking the highs. That's why I'm looking at Amazon here. Man, market's moving up. It's still holding on here. Amazon not wanting to recover right now. I'm watching the 15-minute to see if we can get back above the 9 here. If we can get back above the 9, we can use this as the risk spot. So down here, looking to see if this candle can go green and then go right back up through the trend line. It'd be an approach where it comes back through here, right? And so we'll see what happens here on Amazon. All right, catching up with you guys in the chat. What's up? What's up? Tesla attempting again? Yes, it is. Yes, it is, my friend. Good call out there. Tesla looking great here. TSLL is the way that I could play it on the daily or the swing trade. It looks good on the 9 EMA recovery here. Risk of the 1450s. I like it there, man. Good call out there, my friend. We'll see if I can do some TSLL. How about we do that? And I'll take a little bit here. Risk on the kind of the 1485 spot here. I'll take a shot there on Tesla. TSLL just took a little bit there. Going to risk down here towards the 1490s today. Let's see if this can really start to take off here. Swing trade on that one. That's going to be TSLL. We'll take a look at that one. Appreciate the alert, my friend. Big me. We'll take it. We'll take a ride on the swing on the daily trade. And SPY looking well here. Q's looking good. It's being led by other stocks. So what we need to do is be very stock specific right now, looking at what stocks are leading the action, especially in the last kind of like 30 minutes. I'd take a look at that. Let's take a look at that right here from my watch list here. Pony bouncing back a little bit. QUBT alert rebounding towards 12. This actually looks good here. As it starts to recover 12, we could see QUBT catch the 9 EMA and actually start pushing again here. So looking at it right now, as I'm seeing Grail looking really good. QBTS looks like it's trying to catch the VWAP a little bit. ARM is really ripping out, guys. Coin strong today. Ethereum breaking out. Tesla. Now we're really starting to get some recoveries out there. Mara looking really well towards the 15s. AMAT pushing strong. That tells me more and more those semiconductors doing well. Hood pushing well. Docu. MSTR looking really well there. So maybe we get some MSTX, but that's looking pretty good there. CrowdStrike ripping. Zscaler. A lot of stocks just kind of holding on there. AMD still not making a big move. So I'm just keeping an eye on AMD to see if it starts to make the big push. But other than that, seeing some stocks start to pull back. Tempest pulling back, giving me an opportunity on the daily. towards the 9. I don't mind it 60, but it's a little bit still ways away from there. Zscaler is one of the hottest stocks, still pushing towards the upside there. So that's a good sign to see. And NNE, of course, leading the downside pullback, but coming back quickly, man. I'm a little frustrated about this, guys. Thinking I should go for another shot here on the 31s and risk the 30s, but it's going to be tough. I might have to get out, get back in, and sometimes you got to do that. It still did a higher low, which is the trend that I needed to keep. Maybe I just didn't risk the correct amount there, but I'll be watching NNE. SPY still kind of trickling up here, looking for some other trades out there. Amazon still pulled back, so not looking at that one. MCTR pulled back there on the smaller names. Just looking around at those charts, see if there's anything that stands out to me. MCTR off this $8, trying to hold on. This is where it actually broke out from. So this is where it could break out again. Doesn't look too bad here as it's reloading off of that 8 MCTR, but just be get careful with that one. Of course, that's a halter now kind of come back to the upside. All right, Amazon starting to hold in here. It's 10:56. I'm going to take one more day trade here. I'm going to do Amazon here. Let's go ahead. Let's take a little bit off this 206.40s is really the risk here. So I'm going to take a little bit there. Look for it to go to 206.80s, and then I can maybe add a little bit here. Just trying to do a small little risk here on Amazon towards the bottom of the day, which is about $31, right? So I'm not risking much, looking for this to rip up. We'll still end green no matter what on the day. Looking for MCTR to break up off of that 8. Look at that move already off of that towards the 860s. That's a penny stock really starting to get going. We'll see if that really takes off. I'm not taking it because I'm already in the green today. I'm not going to put myself to risk on this name, but it does have an interesting chart there. MCTR. We'll see what happens on that one. Tesla, can it keep going? Did do a nice little pullback there. Now trying to reload. Let's see if Tesla can rip through the 350s. Come on, Tesla. All right, Grail doing really well for me, guys. Up already a full point towards $40. So Grail looking really well on the swing trade, activated today and looking good here as this starts to push. And E chopping around a little bit there. We'll still look for it to pull back below that 30. Should have sold it on the rip today. That was on my fault. And sometimes you got to know what market you're in. So that's a good one there. AVGO, is that breaking out to the next level? Oh, yeah. Breakout City on AVGO. That's why I was taking a look at KLAC. Look at that one following it along. But nice mention, Bill. Amazon looking great here as it starts to pop back 206.80s. Let's see if it really wants to go here and start to ride back here. Looking really well. There's 206.80s. I talked about how to add there. Let's go for the ad. Just got the ad there. Now can really look towards the low of this candle to hold. And there it goes towards the 206.80s. Really starting to climb back here. So let's see if Amazon wants to make me some money here. All right, it's 10:58, guys, so I'm going to probably have to wrap it up in just a minute or two here, but I wanted to see you guys at least take a look at this trade in here, and we'll see what happens. Not a bad day for me overall. I'm green on the day in the day trade, green on the day in the swing trade. Sometimes you can't be mad, man, especially doing both and streaming. It's going to be tough sometimes to do the swing trades and then manage day trades, do them both. I'm going to try to show you guys everything I can because that's what we're all about here on Trade the Pool. It's giving you guys the transparency, the fun, the education, and of course, a hell of a good time because that's what it's all about, man. You guys are here to enjoy it, learn, and keep pushing. Look at all these stocks coming back. Very similar patterns, right? What are you seeing? Those dip, those red to greens all around out there. AMAT really strong today. Tells me that technology could just keep pushing. Grail could keep pushing. That's one of my best swings on the day. Here goes Amazon. Now we start to move. Now we're starting to get back to 206.80s. So there goes Amazon looking good here. Might go on a rebuy on the swing trade for Amazon. I know I got out of that one, but I might have to get right back in. Might have to take a little bit of this swing on Amazon here. I'm gonna do it, but just at a smaller amount here. I think I did like 300 shares last time. I'm gonna just do like 100 shares here. All right, took a little bit there of Amazon. I'm going to risk on the low here. So just a $15 more of risk there. Looking for it to keep going on the upside because it's looking so well there. All right, now we're getting towards about $50 there on Amazon as it starts to lift here. Looking to try to get it towards 100 so I can take half off and get back to the VWAP. That's already 207.44s. We'll be up big by that time, guys. So let's see if we can get back there. That's about 150 when we get back up to that spot. Now just looking for this to just keep lifting. Just keep lifting. No pullback. Show me strength on Amazon. We're getting it. We're getting it. Tesla looking good there. Tesla pushing towards the 350s. Let's go, guys. I got that TSLL right. Now that's starting to lift on me. So that's looking really good for the swing trade here. We'll go ahead and kind of set a risk in a little bit here. There we go. That's pushing well. 11:01, guys. I got to get out of here, but looking really well on that Tesla TSLL. Going to ride the momentum on that one. See if I can make a good 200, 300 on that one today. Let's see what happens. So the big thing with that TSLL is that I'm in at a little bit of a chase on the swing, but I'm going to ride this. I'm going to go break even right now, and I'm just going to keep riding this and look to make some cash back. Especially on the day, get myself back above some good action here. So good breakout here, though. On the daily chart, it still looks good, man. I could still risk on here. But the thing is, I'm just too big in this TSLL. So what do I got to do? I got to sell some on the rip. That's what I got to do here. So let it break out, and I'm going to sell some on this rip. Looking for a little more to sell some on the rip here. Tesla breaking out there, and so is Amazon. Looking good. Everything's pushing. Gas pedal. You got to know when to hit the gas pedal. This is like Fast and Furious when the last scene is on. We got to ride that car, baby. Let's go. Ride that wave right now. We're riding it. We're riding that wave. How's AMD doing there? AMD just broke that 116. Could keep going there. Snow recovering the VWAP. We're looking good out there, guys. There's Amazon. I'm going to cut half of it here because we're doing really well. Oh, look at that. Pushing. Boom. Just took half of it off there, guys. Paid myself some more on Amazon. Break even on it now. Just going to let it run. If it's a running type of day, you'll get back through the VWAP and just keep going. That's what I wanted to do. Make some more money. That's what I just did. There we go. TSLL doing well there. Going to sell half of that too. Boom. Just sold half of that there, guys. Took some money on Tesla, TSLL, selling some there in the 1539s. I think I got, 1538s there. So now I can go ahead and set the stop towards the low and just let this work on the day. I'm going to risk about $45. I just made that $45 there. So let's go ahead. Let's use that, the house's money, to play with that position. GSRT is the one that's a little bit red, still not really taking off on that name. I'm going to probably put a stop near the low on that one and just be careful with that one. We'll see what happens. All other swings in the green here, so can't be mad. Here it is, guys. I'll show you guys the swing trades before I get out of here. Look at all the swing trades. They're all green here. We'll look to see if they bounce back, especially on NNE. NNE is one that I think could just keep coming right back. It's coming right back towards my entry, so we'll look to see if it starts to turn back around. 31 is going to be my key buy when this starts to come back, and then I'll risk on 30s. We'll see when that comes back, and I'll be watching NNE. It's okay to get out sometimes and then get back in another time, guys. NNE pulling back there, so can't get too picky here. It has undercut where I was in, which was the 9 EMA. It shouldn't have undercut that. And so at this point, it's okay to get out. Just look to see what the end of the day trend is doing, because it could be right back, right? So we'll see what happens there on NNE. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like always, check me out at MoneyMitch_TTP and check us out every single morning. We'll keep pushing right here on Trade the Pool.